Now in this lesson, I just want to go and run through one of the ways on how we can specify the colors in CSS. And that will be through the use of the RGB color system. So we can see here on our screen that once we hover on the name of the color that we've declared here in the section About Me information, it shows us a parameter of integers that is inside of parentheses. And when we say RGB, the RGB color system is a system that provides us the ability to give instructions to the computer for it to be able to determine on how to display the colors that we want on the screen. If you remember, I explained that the computer can understand instructions in a set of zeros and ones. So these are like mechanical switches that will be declaring to the computer on how to perform the task we have given it. So the RGB color system was designed by programmers before so that we can go and give instructions to the computer on how to display and represent each of the color combinations. So RGB is able to represent colors by mixing together some red, some green, and some blue. That's why it's called RGB. So we have RGB. So RGB here, in this case, the royal blue, so 65% of red, 105% of green, and 225% of blue. As we can see here, once we hover on top of the color name here. So if we go and try to change this value to RGB and give it a value of 255, 255, and 255, that will be the highest brightness for the red, highest brightness for the green, and highest brightness for the blue. And you would see that if we refresh this, it will produce white. And if we go give this 0, 0, 255, it will produce red. If we go give this a 0, 255, 255 was 0 here, refresh, it will give us green. And if we give it a value of 0 and 255, you will see that it will give us blue here. And based from the values that we give here, it will be able to provide us a number of combination of colors. So we can see here that, let's save this, it changed the color based from the value of the brightness of red with 0 green, and we have here 255, which is the highest brightness level for the blue color. Another key thing that we can actually do here in our RGB declaration here is to give it an alpha channel. So once we go to our Visual Studio Code, we can actually just go and drag this, and you would see that it will give us an alpha channel that will be defining the opacity of the color that we have declared here based from the RGB. So right now, I want to give it an opacity of, let's say, 0.8. So now it will automatically be generating here. We can actually just remove this. So this last declaration here in this parameter, which is the A, it means alpha channel. The alpha channel will be specifying the opacity for a color. So the value for this will be specified with RGBA, and that just simply means red, green, blue, and alpha. So the alpha parameter is a number between 0.0, which will mean fully transparent, and 1.0, which will mean fully opaque. So if we go and save this, you would see that nothing's changing here. But if we go and give it a value of 0.8, refresh, you would see it became lighter. So I'm hoping you got the idea on how to maximize the use of RGB and also the RGBA, which means alpha for alpha channel, short for alpha channel. At least with that information, you would know what this means. Once you use it, at least you have an idea on how to maximize the use of RGB in your projects. So in the next lesson, we'll talk about the hexadecimal code system that will also be related to how we can go and style elements and give them colors using that specific method or system.